If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. Everybody's been talking about quiet quitting like it's a workforce problem at the bottom of an org chart, the entry-level worker doing the minimum, and the story doesn't scare you, but here's the one that should. Your head of something important is quietly quitting, and you don't see it because they're still delivering, still hitting the numbers, they're still the first one on the call, the last one off, still the person you count on when everything is on fire. Your director, your vice president, the one you count on, they're not going to hand you a resignation. They're going to keep showing up. They're going to keep performing. And somewhere between that performance and that paycheck, they've quietly moved outside of their body. They've outsourced their calendar, their opinions, their rest, their wants to the operation. And the operation is thrilled about this because the operation runs on people who have stopped asking for what they actually need. So I coached someone last year, a chief operating officer at a company you would recognize if I named it. They had built their entire career being the person the CEO called at 10 p.m. when everything was on fire. Brilliant, never missed, never wavered, never once said no. Well, in our third session, they said something I've never forgotten. Nicole, I don't know what I like anymore. I don't know what music I like. I don't know what I want for dinner. My spouse asked me last week where I wanted to go on vacation, and I couldn't answer. I've run a 9-figure P&L for 6 years, and I could not tell them where I wanted to go for the weekend. Now, they were not burned out. Burned out is when you can't keep going. They were still going, but the self was the thing that they had left, and that job was still perfectly intact. And that is what quiet quitting actually looks like at the top. And most leaders, they just never see it coming because the performance never slips until it does, all at once. Here are 3 signs your best person is quietly quitting themselves. Run this against your top people right now as I say them. Sign 1. They've stopped having opinions in low-stakes conversations. They'll fight for the client, they'll fight for the team, but ask them where they want to have lunch and they'll say, wherever, I don't care. That's not politeness. That's a person who stopped registering their own preferences for so long that the muscle no longer works. Sign 2. They only rest when they get sick. And rest is not a strategy for them. It's a consequence of collapse. And they're proud of that. They wear it like a badge, and that is a tell. Sign 3, they can't remember the last time they wanted something for themselves that wasn't attached to the role. Not as a parent, a partner, a boss, a friend, just a want, a pure want. And when you ask them, they'll say, I haven't thought about that in a long time. They have. They've just stopped letting themselves think about it because the answer costs too much. Now, here's what the data tells us. I surveyed thousands of leaders and executives this year, and the single most common habit they named that was getting in the way wasn't their workload, it wasn't their boss, it wasn't the economy. It was one word: overcompensating. Bending yourself around other people's needs and reactions until there's almost nothing left of your own shape. 51% named it, and that's not a personality flaw at scale. That is a machine at scale. Now, here's the part that's going to make some of you uncomfortable, and I need you to sit with the discomfort because it's the whole point. They did not do this to themselves. We did this to them. And when I say that, I mean the systems I used to run. So I was a chief human resources officer for years. I sat in rooms where These systems got designed, so let me name the machine. The compensation machine. We paid them more when they said yes to more. Nowhere in the comp package was there a line item for judgment and sustainability or for refusal. We paid for output, and they gave us output. And when they started to fray, well, we paid them more because more money is what we thought the loyalty needed. The performance review machine. Every year we ask them to demonstrate impact measured in hours, in outputs, the ability to stretch. And nowhere on the form was there a question about whether they were still a person. We asked, are they still delivering? Different question, wildly different answer. Now let's look at the promotion machine. We promoted the ones who didn't push back, who absorbed, who never made us uncomfortable. And then we wondered why our senior benches were full of leaders who had lost the ability to say no. We built that bench, we selected for it, and then we celebrated it. So when your best person is quietly quitting themselves, don't ask what's wrong with them. Ask what's wrong with the machinery that trained them. And then, if you have a title, a seat, any power at all, go dismantle the piece of the machine you are personally responsible for. Because here's the distinction that matters. Conquering yourself, doing that deep inner work, reclaiming your own identity, that's their job. Dismantling the machine is ours. And they're two different jobs. And I've been sitting on that one for a long time. So consider this me finally saying it out loud. So here's your small, brave move this week. 2 versions. Pick the one that applies best for you. If this episode was about you, 10 minutes, 1 page alone, no phone, write this at the top. What do I actually want right now that has nothing to do with anyone else? Not what would help your family, not what would move your career. What do you want just for you? Write for 10 minutes without lifting the pen. What comes out will surprise you. Don't throw that page away. It's just the beginning. Now, if this episode was about someone you lead, this week, look at your comp structure, your performance review form, your promotional criteria. Find one line, just one, that punishes rest, that might punish refusal, or rewards for overfunctioning. And name it out loud to the other person on your leadership team. You don't have to fix it just yet. Just name it, because that's where the machine starts to move. If this episode hits a nerve, good. I want you to share it with another CHRO, Chief Human Resources Officer, or CEO, or a board member in your world. Not to be inflammatory, to be honest. Because someone in your organization just got named in this episode, and they need someone to start the conversation. And if you're ready to bring this into your organization, this work, this is exactly the conversation I'm having with leadership teams and audiences right now. If you've got an upcoming conference, summit, SKO, or leadership offsite, and you want your leaders to do the deep inner work instead of just performing it, let's talk. My contact info is in the show notes. Until next week, name the machine.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes, and let's do this together, one small brave move at a time. See you next week.